last one of them would perish by my hand.
Hello ladies and gents, how's it going chums? As heavily requested, a remake of the mod guide suitable with 1.5.2 with far better audio quality and overall love. With more than 100 mods now, can you believe it? This video will be divided into many sections, all timestamps, mod names and links will be included in the description and pinned comment for your viewing convenience and comfortability. If you need further modding support, join the official Cyberpunk modding Discord and add me in the mod list named Kiss Guide, which stands for Keep It Simple Stupid. That being said, let's jump straight in. Section 1, the modding essentials and pre-installation steps. Firstly, you will need to download two prerequisite modding essentials, that being WinRAR/7zip and Word++. Link in the description will be provided. Secondly, you must be on the latest game version either on Steam or GOG. Since the making of this video, the latest game version of Cyberpunk is 1.52. Thirdly, backing up key game files, which is your bin and config files. This is important because if you make any mistakes, that being minor or major, you can simply repaste these files to get vanilla game state, rather than spending precious time reinstalling the game and or verifying integrity/repairing. Fourthly, backing up your saves. This is simple and easy to do, and you will thank yourself later if somehow modding corrupts your save files. This can be easily done on GOG via here. For Steam, go to this location. Finally, this may not be 100% required but will definitely help, and this is always to start a new playthrough. Some mods may not execute well on a save game that did not have them prior. I however have not seen many issues, but it's better to be safe than sorry. Section 2, how does Cyberpunk 2077 modding work? Cyberpunk has 4 different directories where mods are implemented. We will delve further in depth for this. However, if you'd like to minimize your mistakes, take the time to understand this. The Cyberpunk directory can easily be found here for GOG. As for Steam, here. I recommend pinning this to your quick access for convenience. Explanation of the 4 different mod directories and where to install certain mods. So the Cyberpunk root folder has already been established. It's where all the data that depends on the game to run is shown. In this guide, you'll simply be dragging and dropping the majority of the mod folders to your main directory. I do not recommend Vortex as it's not beginner friendly. Manual is the way to go in my opinion. Unless you know what you're doing, feel free to use Vortex, but this mod guide will not use Vortex. Cyberpunk 2077 archive mods folder. First, you got archive files. These are the easiest files to install and usually won't have any underlying issues if installed correctly, that is. Archive files alter the visual appearance of almost everything in the game. This could be the floor, clothing, your V, other characters like Johnny and or Panem. They change the developer's default modules and or textures to be the modder's own files, overwriting them. A general rule of thumb is .archives will always be placed in archive/PC/mod. Cyberpunk 2077 CET Mods folder. Redscript/CET Mods operate on a script with the dependencies being set and Redscript. Cyber Engine tweaks and Redscript works either off each other or individually. These mods change a wide variety of gameplay, features and mechanics. A good rule of thumb to consider is if the mod you're downloading is dependent on CET, then it is always placed in bin/64/plugins/cyber_engine_tweaks/mod. Just take it one step at a time and all will be well. Cyberpunk 2077 scripts folder. Scripts operate on the game's files and modders edit these scripts to create their own mods. This can be done by Red Engine, Wolvenkit, CET, Redscript, TweakXL, and Red4X. Something important to remember is scripts will usually have .reds in the mod name, and these will always be placed in R6, engine/scripts. Always be back at your Cyberpunk 2077 directory before navigating further to avoid mistakes of placing it in the wrong installation path. Cyberpunk 2077 ini mods folder. Ini mods are .ini configuration files. These contain game settings that the modders/developers have changed the value of. Once placed in the proper folders, the value from the .ini files will overwrite the base game's value and settings with the modders presets. Whilst .ini mods sound the easiest, with good mods or your own proper tweaking, they can be extraordinarily useful and improve your overall gameplay. They edit features like the horrible base game driving and handling or AI. One thing to note is .ini files are always placed in the PC folder. The path is as followed: /engine/config/platform/PC. Modding installation guide and the mod list with up to 100 plus mods. Welcome if you skipped it, and good job if you stuck it through the whole way and managed to digest all of that verbal diarrhea. One thing to note, the first 5 mods are extremely important whether you follow this guide or not, so keep this in mind as they are required by a multitude of mods. Be sure to always have the latest version of these mods. 2 things to consider before proceeding: if you do not have a mod folder in your archive/PC, create one. It should be called mod with a lower sensitive M or a non-capitalized M. If you have a patch folder instead, rename that to mod. Secondly, this mod guide has been worked on for roughly 3 months since 1.5 launched, and every time I'd collect footage, Cyberpunk would either update and or modders would update their files, so I'd have to retake footage multiple times, hence why during the making of this video, different dates are shown in the bottom right. This also means that I've installed mods multiple times, so do not be alarmed if I have a replace files on my screen. If you do, be sure to replace/overwrite every time. Mod 1, Cyber Engine Tweaks, also known as CET or CET. This mod is a scripting framework for modders, meaning many mods operate offset. It also provides quality of life fixes. So once you've downloaded CET 1.52 from Nexus, open the WinRAR file and simply drag and drop the bin folder to your main Cyberpunk 2077 directory. Override if asked to do so. Once done, be sure to disable any and all overlays for CET to work properly. The biggest conflicts are MSI Afterburner and River Tuner. Once done, boot up your Cyberpunk 2077 to see if CET is working correctly. It'll then ask you to select a key binding. I use page up, but you can also use the tilde. From there, go to settings and tick the same options I do. Mod 2, Red Script. This mod is a compiler for Cyberpunk 2077 scripts, also known as .reds files. It's as important as CET, so make sure you download it. Once you've downloaded the latest Red script, open the WinRAR folder, hold Ctrl and left click Engine and R6, then drag and drop both these folders to your Cyberpunk 2077 main directory. Mod 3, Native Settings. This mod allows other mods to easily add a settings menu using only native UI, thus looking like the game settings menu. It's sort of similar to Skyrim's mod configuration menu. To install native settings, drag and drop the singular bin folder to your main Cyberpunk 2077 directory, like so. Mod 4, Cyberpunk 2077 Texture Override. This mod has a .archive, which will nullify a file that overrides modded textures, colors, etc. It affects multiple things in the game such as hairstyles, clothings, cars, etc. To install Cyberpunk 2077 Texture Override, download the latest version from Nexus, open the WinRAR and drag and drop the archive folder to your main Cyberpunk 2077 directory as I do, and that's it. Mod 5, Cooked Abs Nulled. This mod is used to modify NPC and vehicle mods. To install Cooked Apps Nulled, download the latest version from Nexus and drag and drop the archive folder in the WinRAR to your main Cyberpunk 2077 directory. Mod 6 for the gameplay mods will be a choice between one of these two. These are the FGR alternative for now. So level scaling and rebalance or combat overhaul. So for level scaling and rebalance, a mod I have used personally, download the damage scaling main file if you'd like to configure your own balancing changes in native settings. I will download this file for the sake of the video, however. That being said, I have only used the second file, level scaling with higher minimum levels rebalance map. For casual players who want the easiest option, this will be the proper leveling if you do not want to configure the settings yourself and feel as if the game is hard already. That said, I'll be making an in-depth mod video in the future regarding this mod, so for now, now, we'll just get to the installation step. To install level scaling and rebalance, download the damage scaling main file from Nexus. Once that is done, open the WinRAR and drag and drop the bin folder to your main Cyberpunk root folder. If you're downloading level scaling with higher minimum levels or proper leveling, it would be the archive folder to your main directory. As for mod 6 for combat overhaul, this mod is made to remedy the bullet sponge and make the need to upgrade your weapons and wear viable armor during playthrough, turning the game from a kind of looter shooter to hardcore RPG that people have wanted. This mod isn't for everyone, but if you hate bullet sponge and wanted a think fast, move fast, kill fast, try it on. One thing to note, this mod works on hard difficulty only. I personally haven't used this mod, so I cannot show gameplay, but I've heard good things about it. To install Combat Overhaul, download the latest version from Nexus. Once that is done, open the WinRAR, hold Control and left click the bin and R6 folder, then simply drag and drop those two folders to your Cyberpunk root folder. Mod 7 perks overhaul, no longer a whip, which means work in progress, so it's finally finalized. This mod changes many of the stealth and cold blood perks, as well as other perks in the annihilation tree and athletics tree. Stealth perks now heavily rely on you being undetected at all times for massive damage boosts, whilst being detected will lose most of these bonuses. Cold blood is weaker early game, but it becomes an absolute monster late game. For instance, clips here, I don't even die to max tech commanders or whatever, so yeah, it can be pretty strong. To install Perks Overhaul, download the mod's latest version, open the WinRAR and drag and drop the bin folder to your main Cyberpunk 2077 directory. Mod 8, Vehicle Combat, enables the player to use weapons while driving and overhauls the police system to create frequent vehicle chases and combat. This mod can get very hectic and can cause FPS drops if you make the spawns insane. To install Vehicle Combat, download the latest main file from Nexus. Once done, open the WinRAR of Vehicle Combat and hold Control and left click the R6 folder and bin folder and simply drag and drop to your main Cyberpunk 2077 directory. That's it. Mod 9, Street Style Immersive Fashion System. Clothes provide stats to your skills and attribute points, making it easier to pass skill checks. For example, wearing Netrunner gear provides better scaling to intelligence, etc. 4 styles have been established to clothing known as Entropism, Kitsch, Neo-Militarism, Neo-Kitsch. This mod incentivizes you to wear different clothing, wearing the same style of the categories give a boost. Unfortunately, this mod's Mimicry is disabled for now, but once fixed will be fun to incorporate in future Wolf. To install Street Style, download the latest version from Nexus, open the WinRAR once done, and drag and drop the R6 folder to your main Cyberpunk 2077 directory. Mod 10, Cyber Vehicle Overhaul, also known as CVO. This mod overhauls every single vehicle's top speed, power, handling, and brakes. It affects a lot of cars and is a must-have mod in my opinion. To install CVO, download the latest version from Nexus. Once downloaded, open the WinRAR file and drag and drop the bin folder to your main Cyberpunk 2077 directory. Mod 11, Car Modification Shop. Modify your favorite player vehicles, all in a physical location, with the usage of the native UI. To install Car Modification Shop, download the latest version from Nexus. Once you've downloaded the mod, open the WinRAR file and drag and drop the bin folder to your main Cyberpunk 2077 directory. Mod 11.5, Fun Cars Oversteer and Drifting INI 1.5. This is an INI configuration to aim to make cars oversteer and fun to handbrake for turns. Highly recommended to pair with Car Modification Shop. To install Fun Cars Oversteer and Drifting, download one of the 2 main files from Nexus. I used the first file. Once downloaded, open the WinRAR. You'll need to manually place it in. To do so, navigate to Engine, Config, Platform, PC, and place the .ini file. Mod 12, Appearance Mod Menu, also known as AMM. This is one of the best mods. It has a built-in third-person system, like you've seen in some of my videos. It can spawn objects, NPCs, and it has a niche companion system, as well as vast amount of things. To install Appearance Mod menu, download the latest version from Nexus. Once done, open the WinRAR and highlight both the archive and bin folder, then simply drag and drop both folders to your Cyberpunk directory. Mod 13, AI Netrunners Enhanced. This mod has 10 possible enemy Netrunner hacks, which come at 5 damage, 4 control, and 1 ultimate. Each Netrunner is given a catalog of 3 hacks to use, minimum 1 damage and 1 control. This is chosen randomly with weighting based on level. To install AI Netrunners Enhanced, download the latest version from Nexus, proceed to open the WinRAR. Once done, hold Control and left click both the bin and the R6 folder. Then simply drag and drop both folders to your main Cyberpunk directory. Mod 14, Life Path Bonuses. This mod will make the game more unique and harder, so it's personal preference whether you'd want to download it or not. Essentially modifies every part of the damage system and some other elements to give gangs and corps more flavor and uniqueness. It also gives the player benefits and penalties against gangs / corps based on your life path and is highly configurable. You can read more details on the mod's description. To install life path bonuses and gang corp traits, download the latest version from Nexus, proceed to open the WinRAR folder and drag and drop the R6 folder to your main Cyberpunk directory. Mod 15, Immersive First Person. This mod improves body presence and free look. To install Immersive First Person, download the latest version from Nexus. Once done, open the WinRAR and drag and drop the bin folder to your main Cyberpunk 2077 directory. Mod 16, Sensible Stamina and Athletics. This increases the stamina cost for all actions so that you have to be a bit more conservative with your stamina, which makes stamina related perks useful. It also awards athletic XP based on stamina use, so the more you use athletics in general, such as sprinting and jumping or melee attacks, you get more XP. To install Sensible Stamina and Athletics, download the latest version from Nexus, proceed to open the WinRAR, and then drag and drop the R6 folder to your Cyberpunk directory. Mod 17, Kuroshi's Optical. This mod generates a unique backstory for each crowd NPC scanned. Therefore, once it generates the background based on the NPC's appearance / gender, the NPC's background is displayed in a new section on the scanner panel. To install Kuroshi Optical Scanner, download the latest version from Nexus, proceed to open the WinRAR, and then drag and drop the R6 folder to your Cyberpunk directory. Mod 18, Reduced Loot. This mod is optional as it will make the game harder but also less clunky with the loot icons being all spread out. This mod essentially removes or reduces drop chances for chosen loot categories from in-game containers, NPCs, and world-placed objects. It's also highly configurable. To install Reduced Loot, download the latest version from Nexus, proceed to open the WinRAR, and drag and drop the R6 folder to your main Cyberpunk 2077 directory. Mod 19, Virtual Atelier. This mod also allows the player to preview clothing items on their characters before purchasing it in stores and preview in-game item models in their inventory. You can also use the terminal in V's apartment to look at all clothing items as well as purchase some of them. To install Virtual Atelier, download the latest main file from Nexus, as well as the optional the Dreamshop_Virtual Atelier 2.0. Once done, open the main file Virtual Atelier WinRAR and drag and drop the R6 folder to your main Cyberpunk 2077 directory. Once you're done with that, proceed to do the same process with the next file, the Dreamshop Virtual Atelier 2.0. Drag and drop the folder into your main Cyberpunk 2077 directory. And that's it. Mod 20, Ragdoll Physics Overhaul. This is a newly released mod, improves the flexibility of the limbs, resulting in greater variety of final poses and more natural animation. Also fixes vanilla collision issues that cause some NPC models to bend one leg backward in an unnatural angle. To install Ragdoll Physics Overhaul, download the latest version from Nexus, proceed to open the WinRAR folder and drag and drop the archive folder to your main Cyberpunk directory. Mod 21, Street Vendors. NPC vendors will now trade with you. It also includes a trade overhaul. You want to be at least 3 meters away and use the interact key of a street vendor. This is F for the default key. This should have been in the main game, so it's a must-have mod in my opinion. To install Street Vendors, download the latest version from Nexus, proceed to open the WinRAR and drag and drop the R6 folder to your main Cyberpunk directory. Mod 22, More Fluid Parkour. The player will now grapple a little better and use more appropriate animations regarding the height of an obstacle when trying to parkour. To install More Fluid Parkour, download the latest version from Nexus, proceed to open the WinRAR, drag and drop the bin folder to your main Cyberpunk 2077 directory. Mod 23, better explosives and fire. This mod improves the explosives and fire effects. It affects car explosions, grenades, fire canisters, and more. To install better explosives and fire, download the latest version from Nexus, then open the WinRAR and simply extract and place the archive file in your archive PC mod. Mod 24, Metro System mod. This adds a fully usable metro system with 19 explorable stations. It has a built-in third and first person view when riding the metro and much more features. To install Metro mod, download the latest version from Nexus, proceed to open the WinRAR, hold Ctrl and left click the archive and bin folder, then simply drag and drop those two folders to your main Cyberpunk directory. Mod 25, varied projectile launcher. The default projectile launcher cyberware rounds all have an explosive effect. This mod makes it so that each has an effect similar to the corresponding grenade type. To install varied projectile launcher, download one of the two main files. Once done, proceed to open the WinRAR, then simply drag and drop the archive folder to your main Cyberpunk directory. Mod 26, zoomable scopes. This mod adds a configurable zoom level to scoped weapons that can be ciphered through. To install zoomable scopes, download the latest version from Nexus, then proceed to open the WinRAR file, and then drag and drop the bin folder to your main Cyberpunk directory. Mod 27, less spread, more recoil. This mod is quite fun, introduces much less spread, especially for automatic weapons. No more automatic recoil recovery, more recoil for power and tech weapons. Makes shooting arguably more realistic. This mod might make the game a bit more harder, but it's a nice alternative if you don't use combat oval. To install less spread, more recoil, download the latest version from Nexus, proceed to open the WinRAR, drag and drop the bin folder to your main Cyberpunk 2077 directory. Mod 28, simple XP multiplier. This mod has a configurable multiplier for all XP types, including level, street cred, crafting, stealth, weapon XP types, engineering, etc. To install simple XP multiplier, download the latest version from Nexus, proceed to open the WinRAR folder, and drag and drop the bin folder to your main Cyberpunk directory. Mod 29, E3 2018 HUD. This mod edits a ton of HUD and UI files, so it's pretty much not compatible with any other HUD mods except the ones that use set or red script only. This mod has custom font files. Custom font files work, but stuff might look weird. The modder recommends uninstalling any font mods as well for compatibility. The minimap tells you about your current location in the game. The minimap size is slightly increased from vanilla. The ammo counter is now bottom left. The D-pad hint widget, phone, car, and quick items, for example, is now bottom right. The quest widget has increased text wrapping length. To install E3 HUD, download the latest version from Nexus, open the WinRAR once done, hold Ctrl whilst left clicking the archive folder and R6 folder, then simply drag and drop to your main Cyberpunk 2077 directory. Mod 30, fancy knives and katana. Awaiting the game's release, some fans were led to believe that we'd have thermal katanas. Unfortunately, this wasn't provided in-game by CDPR, so instead we have this amazing visual mod called Fancy Knives and Katana. This mod therefore introduced the glowy/thermal tint to knives and katanas, which specifically is the Satori, military katana, and knives. To install Fancy Knives and Katana, download all three main files: glowing and hollow katanas, military katana, glowing and hollow katana Satori, and glowing and hollow knives. Once done, proceed to open the first WinRAR, select either glowy or hollow. I use glowy, then navigate to your archive, PC, mod, and drag and drop whichever color you'd like. Only use one, I use red, then repeat the same steps for the other two files. Mod 31, disable 2D and 3D effects for UI and disable the chromatic AB. So this mod was supposed to be installed before E3 Spice your HUD, or it make some of the HUD look perpendicular, but it doesn't matter if you're going to install it right after as well. So this mod disables the 2D repeated UI effect that looks like you're seeing double, triple, quadruple, and disables the spheric 3D effect which stretches the UI to a perspective. Cyberpunk 2077's UI suffers from not enough customization options. The 3D and 2D effects that the UI uses are considered to be very distracting, even if they seem immersive at first. To install Purify the UI, download one of the main files. Once done, open the WinRAR and drag and drop the archive folder to your main Cyberpunk directory. Mod 32, Limited HUD. I love this mod as it's perfect for immersion, that being speaking to characters, recording, and not having a clunky overlay on your screen at all times. It's also highly configurable with the new native settings. To install Limited HUD, you'll need to download the main file Limited HUD, the second file Limited HUD E3 2018 HUD, and Limited HUD native settings UI. Once done, begin with the main file, Limited HUD, hold Ctrl, left click the archive folder and the R6 folder, drag and drop both the folders to your main Cyberpunk 2077 directory. Then, open the E3 2018 HUD patch, drag and drop the archive folder inside of the WinRAR to your main Cyberpunk 2077 directory again. Once that is done, open the Limited HUD native settings UI WinRAR next, drag and drop the bin folder to your main Cyberpunk directory. Mod 33, HUDitor. This mod is one of my favorite mods as well. In combination with LHUD, it allows you to move some of your HUD, change its size, or remove it from the screen entirely. To do so, just press Shift plus H on your keyboard. The scroll wheel can be used to adjust the sizes, and the arrow keys on your keyboard to select which one you'd like to configure. To install HUDitor, download the main file HUDitor and download the HUDitor E3 2018 HUD patch. Once done, open the main file HUDitor WinRAR and then hold Ctrl and left click the bin and R6 folder. Then simply drag and drop to your main Cyberpunk 2077 directory. Secondly, open the HUDitor E3 2018 HUD patch and drag and drop the R6 folder to your main Cyberpunk directory. And that's it. Mod 34, E3 2018 lighting mod. This mod simply changes the lighting using the game's engine closer to what we saw in the E3 demo. To install E3 2018 lighting, download the latest version from Nexus, proceed to open the WinRAR, and navigate to your Cyberpunk's archive, PC, mod, and drag and drop the archive file inside the mod folder. Mod 35, Enhanced Weather version 2. This mod increases the number of weather changes in the game and adds more weather conditions. So the mod increases the possible weather transitions from 17, which is in vanilla, to 59, and now any weather can transition into almost any other. Duration of transitions adapted to weather conditions. Minimum and maximum values from weather conditions adjusted so that the weather changes more often. New weather changes. New weather conditions added, light rain without fog and storm with heavy fog. To install Enhanced Weather v2, download the latest version from Nexus, proceed to open the WinRAR folder, drag and drop the archive folder inside Enhanced v2 to your main Cyberpunk directory. Mod 36, Blade Runner 2077 Better Finer Rain, and Mod 37, Constant Rain. Be sure to pick either this mod or the ones I mentioned previously, as they may not be compatible. If you prefer a gloomier Cyberpunk, you can try this one with the Constant Rain. So this mod and Constant Rain is pretty self-explanatory. Constant Rain makes it so it's always raining in your Cyberpunk game, as well as in Night City. As for Blade Runner 2077, the rain is much better, looks more detailed and refined. To install Blade Runner 2077 Better Finer Rain, download the latest version from Nexus, proceed to open the WinRAR, open your Cyberpunk 2077 directory, navigate to Archive, PC, Mod, and drag and drop the archive folder in the WinRAR to your mod folder. To install Constant Rain, download the latest version from whichever file you'd prefer of Nexus, proceed to open the WinRAR and double click Constant Rain. Once that is done, drag and drop the archive folder to your main Cyberpunk directory. Mod 38, Game Time Tweaks. Surprisingly for a Night City, it's usually daytime or morning. This mod makes it so nighttime may last longer or daytime. Select whichever file you'd like. To install Game Time Tweaks, download whichever version you'd like from Nexus. I use the longer nights, shorter days. Once that is done, proceed to open the WinRAR and drag and drop the archive folder to your main Cyberpunk 2077 directory. Mod 39, holographic beams. This mod changes the iconic holo projector beams normally scrolling through adverts to something a bit more picturesque. To install holographic beams, download the latest version and the first main file from Nexus personal loadout. Proceed to open the WinRAR, then simply drag and drop the archive folder to your main Cyberpunk 2077 directory. Mod 40, always first equip animations for guns. Do you remember in the base game the first time you got a unique weapon, your V did a cool animation, but is never seen again? Well, look no more. This mod is aesthetically cool and doesn't have a delay. Animation cancels as soon as you shoot or aim. This mod has been updated for the new weapons and throwing knives, so it's even more amazing. To install always first equip, download the latest version from Nexus, as well as the always first equip native settings UI. Once that is done, proceed to open the always first equip WinRAR first. Drag and drop the R6 folder to your main Cyberpunk 2077 directory. Once that is done, open the next WinRAR always first equip native settings UI and drag and drop the bin folder to your main Cyberpunk directory. That's it. Mod 41, Flips UI improvements. This mod has a collection of quality of life UI improvements, such as sorting of quests, messages, shards, never sell or disassemble iconics, vehicle picks on purchase quests, ammo crafting limited by type. To install Flips' UI improvement, download the latest version from Nexus as I do. Once done, open the WinRAR file and drag and drop the R6 folder to your main Cyberpunk 2077 directory. Mod 42, Vanilla Billboard. This mod improves a lot of 91 billboards and 2 base billboards while remaining 100% lore friendly. To install Vanilla Billboard, download the main file, Vanilla Billboard LOD improved from Nexus. Once done, open the WinRAR and drag and drop the archive folder to your main Cyberpunk 2077 directory. Mod 43, New Respec. This allows you to reset attributes, perks, manually remove an attribute or perk, super useful and allows versatility in builds without costing a fortune. To install New Respec, download the latest version from Nexus. Once done, open the WinRAR and drag and drop the R6 folder to your main Cyberpunk 2077 directory. Mod 44, Silent Silencers and Throwing Knives. This mod stops combat from auto-triggering when you use a silenced gun or throwing knife, so it lets you use those weapons from stealth even when you don't one-shot kill enemies. To install Silent Silencers and Throwing Knives, download the latest version from Nexus. Once done, open the WinRAR and drag and drop the R6 and bin folder to your main Cyberpunk 2077 directory. Mod 45, Inventory Glitch Effect Removal. This is a small mod that removes the glitch effect that appears on V upon entering inventory or changing clothing. To install Inventory Glitch Effect Removal, download the main file from Nexus. Although it hasn't been updated, it still works for 1.52. Once done, open the WinRAR, drag and drop the archive folder to your main Cyberpunk 2077 directory. Mod 46, Johnny Silverhand Glitch Effect Removal. Even though this mod hasn't been updated for a while, it still works for 1.52. This basically removes the glitch effect on Johnny Silverhand, makes it a bit more better for the eyes. To install Johnny Silverhand Glitch Effect Removal, download the main file from Nexus, proceed to open the WinRAR and drag and drop the archive folder to your main Cyberpunk 2077 directory. Mod 47, Spicy Clean Hack Screen. This mod has different variations for the hack screen. You can have a green matrix look or a basic clean like the one I use. Remember, mods with multiple options have to be selected manually based on your preference. Do not drag all of them in. This mod is old but still works for 1.52. To install Spicy Clean Hack Screen, download the main file, open the WinRAR and open whichever folder you'd like. I use the clean scanner. Select it once in the WinRAR, then drag and drop the archive folder to your main Cyberpunk directory. Mod 48, 2077 more gore. This increases the amount of gore in the game. For instance, headshots will either completely decapitate or remove a chunk of someone's face, such as seeing the metal implants or even brain matter. To install 2077 more gore, download the latest version from Nexus, proceed to open the WinRAR. Once that is done, navigate to your Cyberpunk 2077 archive, PC, mod. Then simply drag and drop the .archive file there. Mod 49, Blood Spatters. The Blood Spatter / decal system in Cyberpunk is severely underutilized. This mod unleashes its potential with 3 presets to choose from and an optional file to increase blood spatter size. To install Blood Spatters, download one of the main files from Nexus. I use medium recommended. Once downloaded, proceed to open the WinRAR, then drag and drop the bin folder to your main Cyberpunk directory. Mod 50, this is a game changer and absolutely my favorite mod. It's the subscribe button. So to install this mod, go on my channel, press subscribe and leave a comment. Thank you. Mod 50, Annoy Me No More. Annoy Me No More has a ton of fixes on top, such as skipping cool conversations, allows you to stand after accidentally crouching in conversations. To get more details, be sure to read all of it. To install Annoy Me No More, download the latest version from Nexus, which is the bundle main file. Proceed to open the WinRAR folder and simply drag and drop the R6 folder to your main Cyberpunk directory. Mod 51, no camera auto centering. So this mod has two main files, the TPP one and the FPP one. So when using a vehicle in third person, it doesn't auto center, so you can view Night City better without having to manually keep your camera up. To install no camera auto centering, select one of the main files. Like I said, I use the TPP one. Before downloading it fully, select the two pre-required files. This will navigate you to another Nexus page. Once navigated, download the Red 4X. Once done, open the WinRAR, hold Control and left click the Red 4X folder and the R6 folder. Then drag and drop said files to your main directory. Repeat the same process for Tweak XL as I do. Once that is done, proceed to fully download no camera auto centering, open the WinRAR, then drag and drop the R6 folder to your main Cyberpunk directory. Mod 53, removers, Panzer green tint. The censoring and green tint for the Panzer scene is ridiculous, since the scene is most likely the shortest romance option in the game. Also fuck those Raph and Shiv. Keep in mind the blur effect will also be removed for photo mode. To install removers, download the latest version from Nexus, which would be the Panzer tint remover. Once downloaded, proceed to open the WinRAR, then navigate to your archive, PC, mod folder in your Cyberpunk directory, then simply drag and drop the .archive files to your mod location. Mod 53, hide red shards. This is a good mod for multiple playthroughs so you don't read the same shards. To install hide red shards, download the latest version from Nexus, proceed to open the WinRAR, drag and drop the R6 folder to your main Cyberpunk directory. Mod 54, a good combination with hide red shards, shard noise removal. This removes the static sound when reading shards. It can be a bit annoying and ear rapey. To install shard noise removal, download the latest version from Nexus, proceed to open the WinRAR, drag and drop the bin folder to your main Cyberpunk directory. Mod 55, True Hidden Everything. This is an amazing mod since it allows you to easily have a hide helmet mode with little to no effort. The same can be said for other clothing items. To install True Hidden Everything, download the latest version from Nexus, proceed to open the WinRAR, drag and drop the bin folder to your main Cyberpunk 2077 directory. Mod 56, Quest on Tracker. This mod adds a way to untrack the current quest using a custom hotkey / keybind. This hides the quest tracker below the minimap, the icon in the world, and the route on the minimap. This can easily bound in your set bindings, and once found, just make sure to bind it to a key. I use delete. This is good in combination with limited HUD. To install Quest on Tracker, once you've downloaded the latest version from Nexus, open the WinRAR and drag and drop the bin folder to your main Cyberpunk 2077 directory. Mod 57, quick compatibility files for integrated dodge, vehicle combat, always first equip, limited HUD. So Mod 57 was going to be integrated dodge button, however due to many conflicting mods with the input context file, this mod merges them all and makes them compatible with one another, which makes it extremely useful, as if it didn't exist you would have to navigate to edit the files yourself. To install this mod, download one of the main files for the mods you have downloaded that are named in the compatibility files. If you have followed this mod guide to a T, download the second file. If you've downloaded certain mods, make sure to read through it carefully. Once done, open the WinRAR and drag and drop the R6 folder to your main Cyberpunk directory and replace if asked. Mod 58, better loot markers. One of those pretty quality of life mods. This mod wasn't compatible with E3 HUD in the past, and this is why it did not feature an inclusion. Now it is, and it's perfect. This mod adds additional loot markers on looting containers that show which types of loot are in it, such as firearms, gear, etc. To install better loot icons, download the latest version from Nexus, proceed to open the WinRAR, drag and drop the bin folder to your main Cyberpunk directory. Mod 59, smaller item arrows. This mod is a big game changer. So what it does is it makes the arrow next to gear or weapons slightly smaller. To install smaller item arrows, download one of the main files from Nexus. I use the optional variant. Proceed to open the WinRAR, and then drag and drop the archive folder to your main Cyberpunk 2077 directory. Mod 60, Life Paths Matter. Each life path is entitled to the first level with specific perks for free in order to better reflect the expertise from your background. To install Life Paths Matter, download the latest version from Nexus, proceed to open the WinRAR, and drag and drop the R6 folder to your main Cyberpunk 2077 directory. Mod 61, Filter Saves by Life Path. This mod is a great quality of life mod as it allows you to easily find a save you'd like to reload. Do you have an old Corpo V you haven't played in a while? Well, here is your chance to do so again without a headache. To install Filter Saves by LifePath, download the latest version from Nexus, proceed to open the WinRAR, drag and drop the R6 folder to your main Cyberpunk 2077 directory. Mod 62, Hide Distant 2D Cars. This mod hides the 2D car loads, therefore this mod will save you some free FPS and get rid of the horrible 2D cars in the background. It's better for immersion in general. To install Hide Distant 2D Cars, download the latest version from Nexus, proceed to open the WinRAR, drag and drop the archive folder to your main Cyberpunk 2077 directory. Mod 63, Photo Mode Unlocker. This mod features a photo mode overhaul that removes most restrictions, adds new features and poses for patch 1.52. To install Photo Mode Unlocker, download the latest version from Nexus, proceed to open the WinRAR, drag and drop the archive and R6 folder to your main Cyberpunk 2077 directory. Mod 64, Vendor and UI Improvements. With this mod you can sort by armor and see the crafting specs under their own category on the vendor screen. You can also adjust the prices of player items and vendor items across the whole game. Plus you can interfere with the number of items that vendors will have to get them to resell crafting specs that were lost after the first interaction. To install Vendor and UI Improvements, download the latest version from Nexus, proceed to open the WinRAR and drag and drop the bin and R6 folder to your main Cyberpunk 2077 directory. Mod 65, Vendor and Stash Bug Fixes. This mod fixes a visual glitch where items would disappear after transferring from the player's inventory to the stash or vendor and vice versa. This mainly occurs when you have a stack of items in your inventory and in the stash, when you open the stash and transfer the remaining stack of items from one side to another. To install Vendor and Stash Bug Fixes, download the latest version from Nexus, open the WinRAR, and drag and drop the R6 folder to your main Cyberpunk 2077 directory. Mod 66, Unequipped Mods. This mod makes the game easier, but you should have been able to remove mods from weapons in the original game, so it's kind of a quality of life mod or interface or whatever, you know. To install Unequipped Mods, download the latest version from Nexus, proceed to open the WinRAR, drag and drop the R6 folder to your main Cyberpunk 2077 directory. Mod 67, Custom Quick Slots. This mod allows you to keybind quick slots to use items, heals, drugs, etc. You no longer have to select just one cyberware. It is also configurable and compatible with HUD editor and LHUD, so you can move the custom quick slots to your heart's content. To install custom quick slots, download the latest version from Nexus, proceed to open the WinRAR, hold Ctrl and left click the bin and R6 folder, then drag and drop both folders to your main Cyberpunk directory. Mod 68, Simple Flashlight. Adds a simple toggleable flashlight to the game, I guess. To install Simple Flashlight, download the latest version from Nexus, proceed to open the WinRAR, drag and drop the archive and bin folder to your main Cyberpunk 2077 directory. Mod 69, Restore Crowd Finishes. I don't even know if this mod is even required for 1.52 anymore, but you know, I'm kind of running out of ideas at this point. So this mod restores the Mantis Blade and other finisher animations against crowd NPCs. To install Restore Crowd Finishers, download the latest version from Nexus, proceed to open the WinRAR and then drag and drop the R6 folder to your main Cyberpunk directory. Mod 70, Recap Video Be Gone. This mod just gives you a regular loading screen other than the "Howdy howdy Night City, my guest tonight is Lieutenant Sarah Karowski." Or the "Hey you use the net, right? Anyway, are you even paying attention anymore to this guide?" I'm just joking, for a second you thought I could read your mind, right? To install Recap Video Be Gone, download the latest version from Nexus, proceed to open the WinRAR and drag and drop the bin folder to your main Cyberpunk 2077 directory. Mod 71 Hotfixes. So this mod introduces fixes to some issues occurring in 1.5, such as disappearing HUD elements, quest dialogue, and other UI bug patches. To install hotfixes, download the latest version from Nexus, proceed to open the WinRAR, drag and drop the bin folder to your main Cyberpunk directory. Mod 72 Status Bar Bug Fixes. So this mod fixes 8 distinct bugs with status, buff, debuff, bar, and the weapon wheel. So for example, some buffs removed in error. When alcohol is consumed, other buffs can be removed, specifically the new bonuses from sleeping and showering. Almost the same bug also makes consuming a perk or skill shard remove a sleeping or showering buff. To install status bar bug fixes, download the latest version from Nexus, proceed to open the WinRAR, drag and drop the R6 folder to your main Cyberpunk directory. Mod 73 Wall Hang. This is technically a bug fix because we were originally going to have a Mantis Blade takedown whilst hanging off walls right before release, but it was never put through, right? Well, this mod rectifies this. This mod allows you to hang from a wall whilst holding Q. You can also jump off the wall or crawl on the wall. To install Warhang, download the latest main file from Nexus, proceed to open the WinRAR, and then drag and drop the bin folder to your main Cyberpunk 2077 directory. Mod 74 4KV complexions for Melvi. This mod makes Melvi look more appealing than actually a 27-year-old Mel. Another tip, the complexion will most likely apply to other NPCs using the same complexions. For reference, use the character creation on either the game when making your V, but as it's labeled for Melvi, it's gonna be 2, 4, or 1. To install 4KV, download complexion 1, 2, 4, or whichever one you'd like. And if you'd like the E3 2019 version 1.1, which gives E3 Melvi hairstyle and a matching earring for hairstyle 34, download that too. Once downloaded, open all the complexions, the total being 4, the order doesn't really matter, and drag and drop the archive folders to your main Cyberpunk 2077 directory as I do, and that's it. Mod 75 Faces of Night City. This mod offers 4K complexions for female V and male V, similar to Mod 74. This is important, be sure to always have texture quality set to high or some 4K resolution body diffuse packs will not look right with mods. To install Faces of Night City, download the first 5 main files, female V complexion 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. If you prefer this mod's male version as well, feel free to download those too, but since I am using 4K complexion male V from 74, I'm just gonna use this. Once done, open the WinRAR and drag and drop the archive folders to your main Cyberpunk 2077 directory as I do. Mod 76 Sculpted. This is a male V body and female V overhaul mod. This mod gives a really ripped body for our protagonist because mercenary work burns a lot of calories. Sculpted is slightly outdated for the installation pathing, however this can be rectified by installing the .archive file manually as I do. So once you've downloaded the mod from Nexus, open the WinRAR and open archive/patch in the WinRAR. Then manually go into archive, PC, mod in your main Cyberpunk 2077 directory and simply drag and drop the .archive mod from the WinRAR to your mod folder. Mod 77 SP0 for male or female V. This mod is for my DGen gamers. Rise up as I show you how to install SPO. So download the main file 00SP0 female body texture pack, all 4K variants, also known as version 1.3.61. Once you've downloaded that file, open the WinRAR. Double click on this folder, double click on the archive folder again, double click on PC, double click on mod. So for this part, pick one of the archives in all 3 of the folders shown. This is preference, but I usually install Sun 4B for the diffuse textures, Average BB for normal map textures, and Sweat 3 specular map texture. But I usually install Sun 4B for diffuse texture, Average BB for normal map textures, and Sweat 3 for specular map texture. Once you have decided, drag and drop the .archive file to your archive/PC/mod. So to make it simpler, drag and drop Sun4B to archive/PC/mod. PC/mod, drag and drop AVRBB to archive PC/mod, and finally drag and drop sweat3 to archive/PC/mod. Well done, we're done for this mod. Mod 78 sleeves. This mod prevents sleeves from auto-rolling for long sleeve clothes when first person camera is active. I personally like the long sleeve so it looks a bit more immersive. To install sleeves, download the latest version from Nexus, proceed to open the WinRAR folder and simply drag and drop the R6 folder to your main Cyberpunk 2077 directory, and that's it. Mod 79, unique eye cores. This is a core mod for loading unique eye textures, gradients, masks, etc., allowing for even more customization while also leaving NPCs unaffected. This mod is extremely important for Mod 80, so it's a must-have for installation. To install unique eye cores, download the latest version from Nexus, proceed to open the WinRAR, navigate to your archive, PC, mod, then drag and drop us inside the mod folder. Mod 80, color standalone eyes. To install Color Standalone Eyes, select which version you'd like. I use the Color Eyes Standalone. Download the latest version from Nexus. Whilst this mod hasn't been updated for a while, it still works. Then proceed to open the WinRAR, left click once on Color Eyes Standalone, then simply drag and drop the archive folder to your main Cyberpunk directory. Mod 81, Neon Rims Color Control. This is a set-based editor capable of changing the neon rims color whenever desired. Works for every bike and every appearance. To install Neon Rims Color Control, download the latest version from Nexus, proceed to open the WinRAR, drag and drop the bin folder to your main Cyberpunk directory. Mod 82, Color Cyberware. This mod changes the cyberware's color that's used in character customization. To install Color Cyberware, download whichever main file you'd like to use. I use Black and Gold 1 and 2, but have used Black 1 and 2 as well. Once you've downloaded the main file from Nexus, proceed to open the WinRAR, then navigate to your archive, PC, mod, and drag and drop the .archive file inside the mod folder. Mod 83, Arasaka Cyber Arms. This mod is a cyberware replacement arms for male and female characters. They have many skins to choose from for all cyber arms such as Deus Ex, Batman, Militech, etc. This is a must-have mod for the Chrome lovers. I personally use the Batman Cyber Arm, Deus Ex, and the high red glow for Mantis Blades and Gorilla Arm. To install Arasaka Cyber Arms, download the latest main file from Nexus, proceed to open the WinRAR folder, read the readme file if you want to install different decals and skins for your cyber arms. If you'd like to install the same decals and skins I use, then follow this part. Open the Arasaka Arms folder. M stands for male, F stands for female, L stands for left, and R stands for right. For this mod guide, I'm using the monowire, so drag and drop monowire M and F, L and R. Default means your V is regular arms, so if you'd like that instead, drag that to the mod folder. Next is skin library, so go back to the beginning of the WinRAR, open skin library, then select your character's gender. I selected male, and then select one of the skins. I used the Batman black one, so open that folder, and drag and drop those two .archives to your mod folder. Lastly, go back to the WinRAR and go to Blade Library, open it, then open Blades, select a color for your Mantis arms. I use New Glow Red High, open it, and drag and drop those last two .archive files to your mod folder. Mod 84, remove the holes left by injection. This mod removes the holes left by injection and hides the ballistic compressor palm look. There is still a few left over, but I like this for a good level of immersion. To install remove the holes left by injection, download the latest version from Nexus. It hasn't been updated for a while but still works. Proceed to open the WinRAR, then navigate to your archive, PC, mod, and drag and drop the .archive file inside the mod folder. There is a more recent mod that does the exact same thing and removes the ballistic and everything else completely. If you'd like to install that instead, here is a picture on screen now. Mod 85, stubble remover. This mod makes the stubble look somewhat nicer, but it doesn't work for photo mode however. To install Stubble Remover, download the latest version from Nexus, proceed to open the WinRAR, then navigate to your archive, PC, mod, and drag and drop the .archive file. Mod 86, custom facial expressions for photo mode. So this mod is a photo mode mod and adds actual facial expressions. To install custom facial expressions, download two of the main files, generic_female and generic_male. You can download more if you'd like, but I just use these two. Proceed to open the WinRAR folder, then navigate to your archive, PC, mod, and simply drag and drop the archive file inside the mod folder. Mod 87, Samurai Styles. This mod has variations of the Samurai Jacket. To install Samurai Style, download one of the main files from Nexus. I use Samurai Red Jacket. Then proceed to open the WinRAR. Then navigate to your archive, PC, mod, and drag and drop the archive file inside the mod folder. Mod 88, Strapped. This is a clothing replacer modified for Mel's model of the Lizzie's gun harness. You'll never go unarmed to Night City again. Good for a Sterling Archer cosplay. Danger Zone. To install Strapped, download one of the main files for which armor you'd like to replace as a holster strap. I use Pistol Harness Short. Proceed to open the WinRAR, open Archive, PC, patch folder inside the WinRAR you just downloaded. Then navigate to your Cyberpunk's archive, PC, mod, and drag and drop the archive file inside the mod folder. Mod 89, Appearance Change Unlocker. This mod unlocks the new 1.5 Appearance Change Mirror to completely change your appearance, including your voice, facial features, and your body, and allows you to save your character's presets. To install Appearance Change Unlocker, download the latest version from Nexus, proceed to open the WinRAR, hold Ctrl and left click the Archive, Bin, and R6 folder, then drag and drop said folders to your main Cyberpunk directory. Mod 90, Pull Down Glasses. To install Pull Down Glasses, download the latest version from Nexus. I use Pull Down Glasses _01. Proceed to open the WinRAR and then drag and drop the archive folder to your main Cyberpunk 2077 directory. Mod 91, Simple Menu. This is essentially a console command. Without knowing the commands, you can select what you'd like, upgrade all your weapons to legendary, a million eddies at hand. It's a cheat system essentially, so it's part of the fun section. One of my favorite mods, and it has been updated for 1.52. To install Simple Menu, download the latest version from Nexus, open the WinRAR and drag and drop the bin folder to your main Cyberpunk directory. Mod 92, Edgerunner's Bazaar, similar to Simple Menu, more overall variety. This mod has a mod menu to be used with Cyber Engine tweaks to upgrade your currently equipped weapons, clothing, and mods to legendary. It also increases your item stats, provides spawn buttons for every clothing, article, and weapons in the game, along with every usable weapon, clothing mod, and recipe.
New fingerprints detected.
Fuck?
To install this mod, download two files or one of them. The main first mod file is the Edgerunner's Bazaar. If you want the console commands to enter in set for your convenience, download the optional weapon and clothing command file. Once done, open the main WinRAR and drag and drop the bin folder to your main Cyberpunk directory as I do. That's it. Mod 93, Ripper Deck. This mod allows you to equip and swap owned cyberware, unequip installed cyberware, and dispose unwanted cyberware anywhere, any place. To install Ripper Deck, download the main file, open the WinRAR and drag and drop the bin folder to your main Cyberpunk 2077 directory. Mod 94, System X. This mod allows you to install Cyberdeck and operating system, which is Sandevistan/Berserk at the same time. This mod may make the game way easier though, but it's fun I suppose. To install System X, download the latest version from Nexus. Once done, open the WinRAR folder and drag and drop the R6 folder to your main Cyberpunk directory, and that's it. Mod 95, Hover Jump to Triple Jump. This mod replaces the Hover Jump Cyber Leg, which is the epic fortified ankles purchased from Fingers, with a triple jump instead. To install Hover Jump to Triple Jump, download the main file from Nexus, proceed to open the WinRAR and drag and drop the R6 folder to your main Cyberpunk directory. Mod 96, Enhanced Weapons Craft. This mod extends the default crafting capabilities for weapons, allowing you to choose a weapon's skin and names while crafting. Enhanced Weapons Craft extends in-game crafting menus with a few HUD elements and hotkeys for switching between weapon variants and using any custom name for crafted weapons, as well as adding a few config options so you can tweak all new features as you like. To install Enhanced Weapons Craft, download the latest main file from Nexus, proceed to open the WinRAR, then drag and drop the archive, bin and R6 folder to your main Cyberpunk 2077 directory. Mod 97, fast travel from anywhere to everywhere. This is a simple set mod that lets you fast travel from any location to any marker / point on the map. To install fast travel from anywhere to everywhere, download the latest version from Nexus, proceed to open the WinRAR, and then drag and drop the bin folder to your main Cyberpunk directory. Mod 98, hidden packages, easily configurable with native settings, sort of a collectible Easter egg system in the game. Makes the game have more overall variety, as you could search for these hidden packages or create your own locations. To install hidden packages, download the latest version from Nexus, proceed to open the WinRAR, and drag and drop the bin folder to your Cyberpunk 2077 directory. Mod 99, craft what you want. Tired of having to invest in the crafting tree on your reflexes / core / body just to make interesting iconics of all their higher quality version? Well, this mod lets you bypass the perks in the crafting tree that blocks you from crafting these variants of gear. To install craft what you want, download the latest version from Nexus, proceed to open the WinRAR and drag and drop the R6 folder to your main Cyberpunk directory. And finally, mod 100, Night OS. This mod should have been in the gameplay section, but the mod can be unstable, so I put it in the fun / cheat section. Therefore, since this mod can be unstable, if for some reason your game crashes from scanning or using cameras often, uninstall this mod. However, with Night OS you can hack whatever you want, or almost anything, such as vehicles, traffic lights, make propane tanks explode, NPCs, drop point hacking, drone hacking, security turret hacking, elevator hacking, forklifts, generators, etc.
My oh my, look at him, so handsome.
To install Night City OS, download the latest version from Nexus, as well as the Life Path bonuses and Gang Corp traits compatibility patch. Proceed to open the main file WinRAR and highlight the archive, bin and R6 folder, then drag and drop said folders to your main Cyberpunk directory. Once that is done, proceed to open the compatibility fix WinRAR and drag and drop the R6 folder to your Cyberpunk directory. Thank you so much for watching the video, and I hope this was the best mod guide you've seen for Cyberpunk. I worked very hard and long on this video, and this will most likely be the last mod guide for this channel, but subscribe and stay tuned for my weekly mod reviews. Be sure to look after yourselves and remember, you are all breathtaking.
You just discovered what it takes to become a legend. Subscribe to Rivia Wolf Edits.